Hello, my name is Kevin Sands, and this is Group 5's video presentation for Module 4 in Management 3000. The topic being discussed today is human resource management and how Google uses it to continually accumulate the best talent in the industry. Google is known around the world as a great company to work for. As a company that seemingly is ever expanding, Google dodges the lazy big business stereotype every year. As a matter of fact, Google is viewed as an innovator and a hotbed for creativity. How does Google do it? Where companies like IBM and Dell have faded from industry innovators all the way to companies playing catch up, Google has stayed ahead as the original search engine company and never looked back. The key is their accumulation of the top talent in the industry. Talent does not just walk through the door. It's acquired through a process that is practiced. This process must be dynamic in order to keep up with the times. If you were to ask managers at large companies, what is the most important thing you do at work? The likely answer is going to be, go to meetings. If you ask the same question of a manager at Google, the response would be hiring. See, there's no substitute for a culture of inclusion, nor is there a substitute for talent. Google understands that in a very big way. Their hiring process is based on obvious marks such as intelligence and preparedness, but they have many others that separate them from the rest. They also hire based on the quality of human being, and as well as, and most importantly, how interesting the prospective hire is. The ultimate goal is to accumulate enough quality employees to have an interesting and that all have interesting and diverse backgrounds to create an environment that fosters intrigue and creativity. That environment is a huge drawing factor to top talent available. Reputation is a rather large factor for prospective employees as well. Google gives every recruit a fair shake. Their recruiting is done by panels and not by an individual hiring manager. This really cuts down on the friends hiring friends factor. A work environment that is homogeneous can cause groupthink, which can cause inefficiencies. Above all, an effective workforce is attracted by a quality brand. Because Google is so effective in their recruiting, they have a sterling product and therefore their brand is incredibly strong. The entire process is a cycle that continually produces quality in all phases and thus gives Google an edge in their creative process as well as their overall execution. Next up, Loretta will be speaking on the development portion of human resource management.
Hi, thank you, Kevin. My name is Loretta Arrington, and I will discuss the development phase of human resource management and how Google develops its employees for corporate and personal success. The development phase is, in my opinion, the most important part of human resource management. Attracting potentially good managers and employees is not as difficult as developing them into great managers and employees. Training and feedback, among other tools, are used to mold personnel into a dedicated, efficient, productive workforce. Google has almost perfected the development phase for their employees. Google's mission statement to their employees is to create the happiest, most productive workplace in the world. It is rumored that they have done just that. Despite the relaxed, fun working environment, Google employees' growth is essential and cultivated. According to Google, Google organizes its entire firm to support and cultivate unplanned entrepreneurship and innovation. The efforts in this direction include the 20% policy, the powerful open development environments, a data-driven and flat organizational structure, tools and services that assist with launching, testing, and acquiring user feedback at its earliest, and liberal recognition and rewards for successful innovation. The 20% policy helps enrich the employee development. Forbes contributor Victor Littman wrote that development planning doesn't have to be elaborate or costly. At its core, it's mostly a matter of good managers taking the person-to-person time to understand their employees, recognizing their skills and needs, guiding them to fill in the gaps. If it's done well, the payoff can be substantial in terms of long-term loyalty. If it's not, the cost can be substantial in terms of long-term talent. Google has perfected the art of employee happiness, which boosts their morale and productivity. Google's human resource management team has proven to be people-driven, developing, training, and promoting growth among its management team and employees. The evidence of this development extends outward to their employees' productivity, new innovations, and successful results for their external customers to enjoy. Now, Kaylee will be expanding on how Google maintains the management and employees.
Hello, my name is Kaylee Barnes, and I am going to be discussing how the set of organizational activities directed at maintaining an effective workforce is an essential part of human resource management, and how Google goes above and beyond with these specific activities. As we have learned, it is very important for organizations to attract and develop an effective workforce. It is also important to note that maintaining an effective workforce is essential in the success of the organization. Without an effective workforce working towards a common goal, it is almost impossible for an organization to survive. Google's human resources, or as they call it, people operations, vary greatly from the average models that most businesses utilize. Google has many different tools that they have put together in order to maintain an effective workforce. First, employees are asked to rate their managers twice a year on 8 key factors. Good management is essential in order to achieve top performance company-wide, and Google gets their assessments of management essentially from the employees that work hand in hand with their managers on a daily basis, rather than just the manager's superiors. Google also has what they refer to as a Pi Lab that conducts experiments within the company to determine the most effective ways to manage people as well as maintain a productive environment. For example, the Pi Lab helps them pinpoint which types of rewards make their employees happy. Employee incentives are very helpful for aiding in the increase of production from individuals. They have also established a workplace that directly encourages collaboration. They firmly believe and have proved that innovation is at its best when they combine learning, fun, and collaboration. Finally, and most importantly, Google focuses on increasing discovery and learning with their employees. Rather than the monotonous classroom setting, they use a hands-on learning approach and provide their employees with the tools that they need to adapt as the organization changes and grows. Because Google has focused so much attention on human resource management, they have been able to not only become a successful company, but they have also been able to retain happy employees that are in turn willing to work hard for the organization in the long run. In conclusion, Kevin talked about how human resource management addresses the organizational activities directed at attracting an effective workforce. Loretta talked to us about the organizational activities directed at developing an effective workforce. And I finished up with discussing how human resources plans for maintaining an effective workforce. We have learned that although human resource management has not always been thought of as an important department within an organization, in business today, it is an essential part of how companies will thrive within their industry. Google has proved that an exceptional and unique human resource management strategy is very beneficial in business today. How many companies can say that on average, each employee generates nearly $1.5 million in revenue and $301,000 in profits each year? These outstanding numbers are a result of Google's human resource management strategy and their investment in human capital.